So that's the list step that I talked about, step 2. Now we do the work. Now we have to say, okay, for each one of these roles, what is success? And if you can focus in on the middle for me in this gray area of jobs to be done in superpowers, that's all about defining for a particular critical role, what needs to get done? How does this role contribute to the hotspot to create value? So I'll give you an example in a second, but we just want to make sure we're clear. This isn't your generic job description. I often describe that as designed to stand the test of time. This is like the critical things this role needs to do over the time horizon. Typically, we have like a 3-year horizon that we look at. The most essential the fewest most essential things that this role needs to accomplish. That's the jobs to be done. And then what we call superpowers, what does that person need to possess and be extraordinarily good at in order to get those jobs to be done complete? So we're looking at jobs to be done, which is more of the technical aspects of the job, and then superpowers, which is what's more intrinsic, what will the talent need to bring to this role in order to light it up, if you will. So that's the step 1 as we start to look at the roles. And then we look at, okay, in order to do these jobs to be done, what's the risk of the role? Like the role itself, is it designed properly? And a lot of times you're going to find that, well, these are the jobs to be done, but this role actually doesn't have the decision rights that would be necessary in order to carry out that work. So that's kind of a view of the role risk vis-a-vis authority. Or we look at capacity. You know what, this role is on 5 out of 7 hotspots, and there's almost like no way a single role can accomplish all that. So that there's a capacity risk, and we got to think about, do we redesign the role? Do they need more resources that we have to build around or complement them with the team? There could be resistance for roles that are really roles driving significant change, particularly in the way of working. You might find the role stacks up against resistance. And then is the role attractive? Would it be attractive to a great talent? And on the other side of the equation, now we can start to assess the talent. So do we have an incumbent? How does the incumbent stack up against the jobs to be done in the superpowers? If they stack up really well, could they be a retention risk? Do we have to get out in front of that? Do they have kind of a winning track record? And what an interesting observation, as Shefali mentioned, over multiple use cases here, we find the role risk is often neglected, but it's typically 70% of what we find, issues or risks to the company that we're doing this work with. So it's something that you don't want to just, take for granted. You really do want to look at these role risks. And then the other side of the equation, 30% is typically risk relative to the talent and how well they fit, in terms of being able to do the roles.